Ghana's queer community says it is under increasing pressure following the recent passage of a bill that criminalizes same-sex related activities. The legislation seeks to punish members of the LGBTQ community as well as organizations accused of promoting or supporting such activities. Although the bill is yet to be signed into law by the president, many within the community say they are already facing threats and living in fear. Isaac Kaleji in Accra spoke to one member of the community who says they are in distress.
Fear and uncertainty has become the norm for Stephen. Since Parliament passed an anti-LGBTQ bill last week, he's grown concerned about his personal safety as a queer person.
Every day, before you go to bed, you're already thinking, what's tomorrow going to be like? Is tomorrow going to be the day I am being attacked? Is tomorrow going to be the day I actually find myself wanting? You know, every day you wake up and you're just imagining, what's going to happen today? Am I going to be safe today? Am I going to, go through the day without being attacked, without being discriminated on, without being stereotyped?
After previous attempts at criminalizing same-sex activity, Ghanaian lawmakers have now pushed through this bill that could send Stephen and others like him to jail for up to 3 years.
Bringing out a bill to criminalize people who are law-abiding in the society, who pay their taxes, who participate in their democratic dispensations. I don't think a democratic state like Ghana should be bringing a bill to criminalize these people.
But the legislation goes beyond sexual minorities and also implicates people who support them through funding or advocacy. In fact, in most cases, citizens will be obliged to report any offenders or themselves risk imprisonment. Human rights activists warn that this bill would undermine Ghana's democratic progress.
Every society, when it starts becoming totalitarian, begins with its weakest members first, okay? And you got to understand that in the broad context of power, that the bully always goes for the weakest person they can bully. That is natural. And this is exactly what we are seeing. So if we open that floodgate where people can go to parliament and use the power of parliament to tinker and decide tomorrow, today might be LGBT conversation, tomorrow it could be something else. But if we open that window, we are actually opening up a pathway to authoritarianism down the road.
While the bill has a public support, there are still a few procedures ahead before it can be enacted, and that includes the president signing it into law. Stephen is hoping this period can stall or even reverse the bill. But in case that doesn't happen, he's making plans to go into hiding or even leave the country altogether.
With me in studio is Ghanaian musician Angel Maxine Opoku. Angel is a transgender woman and an advocate for LGBT plus rights in Ghana. Welcome to DW News Africa, Angel. Perhaps maybe let's just begin with you telling us a little bit about what life is like for people in the LGBT plus community in Ghana. What would people in the community be experiencing in terms of societal attitudes, but also perhaps representation in society?
Yeah, so in the Ghanaian LGBT community, you have to be careful every day. It's a life of you waking up not knowing if somebody is going to report you because they suspect you. It's a life of you going out not knowing if you're going to come back home, if not attacked or hurt. And sometimes you have nice people in the society, and there are also people who are very homophobic and aggressive to the queer community. So it's a life of trying to find a balance. There's danger, there's a weight on your shoulder every day, and that is how living in Ghana looks like for queer people.
You identify as transgender, and I wanted to know when that started for you, that journey, and how people in your life responded to that.
I've always identified myself as a trans woman because I'm growing up. I never identified myself as a gay man. And I would say I openly came out as I started transitioning and accepting who I am from 2016. That is when I started living my life as a woman, and I openly came out in 2019. And I would say it was very surprising to a lot of people because people thought that they would have seen the point where I started transitioning and where they will have the right to come and tell me how I'm doing it and it's not nice and blah, blah. But I just came out and that was it. And had a lot of backlash. I lost my job. My landlady sacked me from the house. It was a whole lot of chaotic moments for me coming out openly. Yeah.
Right. And I just want now to get your reaction to Parliament in Ghana passing the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill.
Well, when I heard that the bill was passed, in my head, I didn't know if I should cry or I should laugh or whatever. It was just a mixed feeling. But to me, with this bill, for me, I see it as a political propaganda in Ghana. And that is what everybody is seeing it play right now. And if you ask me about the bill has been passed now, but I strongly believe the president will not sign this bill. Yes, I see the president to be a very empathetic person. I think he's very well educated and he understands what it means to live in fear in Ghana. So for me, I don't think the president will sign this bill.
Right. At the same time, the Parliament seems to be essentially unanimous in its support for the bill. Is it correct to say that there's broad support in Ghana, this is among the public, for this bill?
There is support from the public for this bill because people do not know that they themselves can go to prison if this bill is passed. The idea what has been, presented to people is LGBT people want to get married. LGBT people want to sleep with kids. We just want to be promiscuous in the society. This is the idea people think it is. But they forget that it is their duty to report their own queer child. It is the duty of a mother to go and report their child if they are queer. There are so many things like this form of, if you have anal sex with somebody, whether man or woman, you go to prison. And this is not for just the queer community, it's for everybody. So people do not understand that this bill is coming for everybody.
And I just wondered, at what point is a society opening up to people who are different versus outright homophobia?
Yeah. Okay, so I think that if we want to talk about the queer community has always existed in Ghana. It has been, it is part of our culture. We have a name for it, meaning it is part of our culture. Queer people, we call Kojo Besia, we have Supi, we have Sasu. It is part of our culture. It's just that growing as it keeps, people start identifying and living their lives fully, it makes people uncomfortable and accept that these people were part of the society. And I think with the use of social media, a lot of things have come out. People are now being able to, be bold to identify themselves on social media. And this is what people are not happy about because they feel that the community should hide and shrink.
Right. I mean, just in terms of your activism, could you give us a sense of just what you want to achieve ultimately? I know you've done a lot in terms of against this particular bill and the one that was before it. But overall, what is it that you would like for your country and your community?
For my country, I want them to know that queer people have existed among us and we have been there. Nothing have changed. I just accept that we all coexist and we live together as we used to live before the introduction of this bill. Even though it wasn't 100% safe place to live as a queer person, it wasn't as dangerous as it is now. I just want people to coexist, people to live, people to Just accept people to just be who they want to be. And that perception of queer people want to get married, that is why we are fighting against the bill. No, this is not it. We just want our safety and security. We just want to live freely like any other Ghanaian without any tag. And that is all.
All right. Well, Angel Maxine Opoku, thank you.
Thank you.